Hello, dear listeners, and welcome to the Work English Podcast. This is the place where we explore fascinating topics from around the world, while helping you improve your English with clear and calm conversations. My name is John, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Mary.
Hi everyone. It's so great to be here with you today. I hope you're having a wonderful day, wherever you are listening from.
Today, we have a very important topic. We are going to talk about how to write professional emails like a native.
Oh, I love this topic, John. I think so many people feel nervous when they need to write an email in English at work. Am I right?
You are absolutely right, Mary. Writing a professional email can feel very difficult, especially when English is not your first language. But here is the good news: it does not have to be hard. With a few simple rules and some key phrases, anyone can write a clear, polite, and professional email.
That makes me feel better already. So, John, where do we start? What is the first thing someone needs to think about when they write a professional email?
Great question. The first thing, and this is very important, is the subject line. The subject line is the short text you write at the top of the email before you open it. It tells the reader what the email is about.
Yes. I always look at the subject line first to decide if I need to read the email now or later.
Exactly. And that is how most people work. So a good subject line is short and clear. For example, if you want to ask about a meeting, you can write, "Question about Friday's meeting." If you are sending a document, you can write, "Report for this week." Simple, direct, and easy to understand.
So we should avoid writing things like, "Hey," or leaving the subject line empty, right?
Completely right. An empty subject line looks unprofessional. And a subject line like "Hey" gives the reader no information. Always tell the reader the topic of your email in just a few words.
Good tip. Now, what about the greeting? How do we start the email itself?
This is where many people are not sure what to do. In professional emails, the greeting depends on how well you know the person. If you do not know the person very well, or if it is your first time writing to them, you can use "Dear Mr. Smith" or "Dear Ms. Johnson." The word "dear" is polite and formal. Always use it with the person's last name in a formal situation.
What if we don't know the person's name? For example, if we are writing to a company?
Very good point. In that case, you can write, "Dear Sir" or "Madam," or you can write, "To whom it may concern." These are classic, polite ways to start when you do not know who will read your email.
And what if I know the person? Like a colleague I work with every day?
If you know the person well, you can be a little more relaxed. You can write, "Hi Sarah," or "Hello David." These are still professional but feel more friendly and natural. Just remember, never use "hey" in a work email. It is too casual.
I have seen people write "hey" in work emails, and it always feels a little strange to me. So "hi" is okay, but "hey" is not?
That is a perfect way to remember it. Hi is friendly but still respectful. Hey is too informal for a professional setting. Think of it this way: you would say hey to a close friend at a party, but not to your manager at work.
Huh, that's a great image. Okay, so we have our subject line and our greeting. What comes next?
Next comes the opening line of the email, the first sentence after the greeting. This is your chance to be polite and give the reader a little context. A very common and professional way to start is, "I hope this email finds you well." This is a friendly and warm sentence. It shows you care about the other person.
I love that sentence. It sounds so natural when native speakers write it.
Another option is, "I am writing to you regarding." And then you explain your topic. For example, "I am writing to you regarding the meeting next Monday." Or you can say, "I wanted to follow up on our conversation from yesterday." This tells the reader exactly why you are writing.
These phrases are so useful. Can you say them one more time slowly?
Of course. I hope this email finds you well. I am writing to you regarding. I wanted to follow up on. Practice these phrases, listeners, and they will become very natural for you very quickly.
Now, what about the body of the email? The main part where we write our actual message?
The body is where you give your information, ask your question, or make your request. The most important rule here is, be clear and be brief. Do not write long paragraphs with too many ideas. Use short sentences. One idea per paragraph is a great rule to follow.
So instead of writing one very long paragraph with everything inside, we should break it into smaller parts?
Exactly. For example, if you want to ask 3 questions, write each question in its own line or small paragraph. This makes the email very easy to read and easy to answer. Busy people appreciate emails that are short and well organized.
That makes so much sense. What are some useful phrases for the body of the email?
There are many. Let me give you some of the most common ones. If you want to make a request, you can say, "Could you please send me the file," or "Would it be possible to schedule a call this week?" Notice how we use could and would. These words make your request sound polite, not like a demand.
Yes, there is a big difference between "send me the file" and "could you please send me the file?" The second one sounds so much more professional and kind.
Absolutely. The word please is small but very powerful. Always use it when you are asking for something. Another useful phrase is, "Please find attached." You use this when you are sending a document or a file with your email. For example, "Please find attached the report you requested."
What about when we need to give someone some information? Is there a good way to introduce that?
Yes. You can say, "I would like to inform you that," and then give your information. For example, "I would like to inform you that the meeting has been moved to Thursday." This sounds formal, clear, and professional. Another option is, just a quick reminder that. This is used when you want to remind someone of something. For example, just a quick reminder that the deadline is this Friday.
Oh, I use that one a lot. It sounds friendly but still professional. Like you are helping the person, not bothering them.
That is exactly the feeling it gives. Now let's talk about something very important: how to close the email. The closing is just as important as the opening.
Really? I sometimes just write thanks and send it. Is that okay?
Thanks is okay in some situations, but there are better options that sound more professional. One of the most common closings is, "Best regards," followed by your name. This is perfect for most professional emails, not too formal, not too casual. Another common one is, "Kind regards," which feels a little warmer and more personal.
What about sincerely? I see that a lot in formal letters.
Sincerely is more common in formal letters or very official emails. You can use it, but best regards or kind regards work well in almost every professional email situation. If you are writing to someone you know well, you can even write, "Best wishes," or simply, "Thanks so much," followed by your name.
So after the closing phrase, we just write our name?
Your name, and ideally a short signature with your job title and contact information. For example, John Williams, Senior Manager, ABC Company, john.williams@abccompany.com. This gives the reader all the information they need to contact you or understand who you are.
That's so helpful. Now, John, can we put this all together? Can we do an example of a complete professional email?
Great idea. Let's say you want to write an email to your manager to ask for a day off next Friday. Let's walk through it together. The subject line would be, "Request for day off, Friday, May 9th. Clear and direct.
Perfect. And the greeting?
If your manager's name is Ms. Carter, you write, "Dear Ms. Carter," then you go to the next line and write your opening, "I hope this email finds you well.
And then the body?
I am writing to request a day off on Friday, May 9th. I have a personal appointment that day and I will not be able to come to the office. I have already completed my main tasks for that week, and I am happy to be available by phone if needed. Could you please let me know if this is okay? Thank you very much for your understanding."
Wow, that is short, clear, and very polite. It tells the manager everything she needs to know.
Exactly. And the closing would be, "Best regards, John Williams." Simple and complete.
I feel like I could write that email right now. You know what I love about this? Every phrase you shared today can be used in many different situations. It's like building blocks.
That is a beautiful way to think about it, Mary. These phrases are tools. Once you learn them, you can mix and match them for any professional email, asking a question, requesting a meeting, sharing information, or following up on something.
Before we finish, John, can you give us your top 3 tips for writing professional emails? Just a quick summary?
Of course. Tip number 1, keep it short and clear. Write short sentences and short paragraphs. One idea at a time. Tip number 2, always be polite. Use please, could you, would it be possible, and thank you. These small words make a big difference. And tip number 3, proofread before you send. Read your email one more time before you click send. Check for spelling mistakes, missing words, and make sure your tone is polite and professional.
Those are 3 golden rules. Short and clear, always polite, and proofread before sending. I'm going to write those on a sticky note on my computer.
Ha! That is a wonderful idea. And to our listeners, do not be afraid to write emails in English. Every time you practice, you get better. Start with these phrases, use them often, and very soon they will feel completely natural.
And remember, listeners, professional does not mean cold or robotic. You can still be warm, friendly, and human in a professional email. The phrases we shared today help you do exactly that.
Well said, Mary. Thank you so much to all of our listeners for joining us today. We hope this episode gave you real, practical tools that you can start using right away.
If you have questions or you want us to cover another topic, please let us know. We love hearing from you.
Until next time, keep practicing, keep growing, and keep your English moving forward. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.